About to be done near Waukegan. I think your risk is just about over. You have the top end of that comma head still moving through. Sometimes you can get some rotation with that. More pressing is this watch into Wisconsin along 41. This is a warning that goes until 445 for Racine, and there has been an embedded circulation within there right in here at this point, bending its way this way. So it could go just north of Racine, but if you're west or north of there, please pay attention to this one. Very gusty winds, and very gusty winds have been the theme throughout this whole line. Speaking of, there is a new kind of surge forward trying to organize right in here. It's a little bit muddied. It's not nearly as, bowed or, that backward C shape as we had earlier across Iowa. But in this corridor, South Bend, Rochester, Kokomo, Lafayette, this line is the one you got to watch. If that trend continues and we get a little bit more of that surge forward, then all those communities to the east are going to be on a heightened alert. You're in that severe thunderstorm watch already. We're waiting to see if we get reports of more gusty winds. As this line of storms came through the Chicago airports, get anywhere from 62 to 72 mile per hour gusts. Not out of the question that this starts to organize a little bit further. There are at least some signs of that. In fact, we can take a look at the velocities, the movement of the raindrops across this area. You see a surge forward right here, a surge forward right here. Those two lines are going to try to come together as one big cluster, kind of pooling their own rain-cooled air. And because of that, new warnings are still popping up. So can't rule out that chance for more significant severe thunderstorm warnings. There's one for Cass, Pulaski, and White, goes until 7. The South Bend area, Berrien, LaPorte, St. Joseph, underneath severe thunderstorm warnings until 6:30. And that whole line will continue to bend its way eastbound. Could get to the South Bend area, Mike, by about 6 o'clock, maybe a little bit before then. A dangerous evening, setting up a dangerous night as well.
That is just such an intense line, and it's had some staying power for hours now, right? One of the big consequences, unfortunately, of that strong line has been massive power outages for us. You take a look, especially here in Nebraska, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois, all those are from today. The storms down through Georgia, also really potent storms that came through Atlanta. The outage you've got in New York and Connecticut, over from last week when we had tropical storm Isaias that moved through this area. So we want to be very aware of what these storms are going to end up doing for you here, folks. I'm going to take you to Iowa. Notice when our storms outages really cranked up here, starting around noontime, have really accelerated since in Iowa alone, nearly 500,000 customers are without power right now. In Illinois, we're going up dramatically. As notice here, in just the last hour, far right-hand side of your screen, in just the last hour, more than 100,000 customers have lost power. Now, watch that line as it surges its way east. Now, hitting us hard here, Grand Rapids and South Bend, or maybe just coming past you in South Bend, but going past through central Illinois, St. Louis, we're getting hit tonight. So expect power outages there. Coming through Indy, probably around between 8 and 10 o'clock tonight, and then over toward maybe the Dayton area and getting close to Detroit and Flint, but it might be weakening somewhat there as the storms push their way down south across the Ohio River. So we think Chicago still has a ways to go. Peoria, St. Louis, Champaign, Indianapolis, Dayton, Cincinnati, Toledo. These are all places where you could experience some very significant and lengthy power outages, especially we know now the trees are coming down, and that really makes it difficult for power crews to maneuver to actually get to the power lines. Not to mention, a huge threat is going to be flooding as well. Watch for the urbanized street flooding in some locations. More on this outbreak here and a derecho across the Midwest when we come back.
As a real estate agent, I've learned